Hey, I'm Dan.
And I'm Matt from Alkaline Trio, and you're watching On the Spot. Alkaline Quattro.
I just met a gentleman from an Alkaline Trio cover band called Stupid Kids, I believe. It might have just been Stupid Kid, so I apologize. So there's
I bet
one.
it's the former.
I would say, I would name a band three devastatingly handsome gentlemen.
Fine Young Cannibals. Final answer.
Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet. A lot of David Lynch. There's a lot of Stanley Kubrick on the new record. Not necessarily whole songs that were inspired by movies, but like there's a lot of Stanley Kubrick on the new Alkaline Trio record. Is This Thing Cursed? But yeah, we have a song about Blue Velvet called Dorothy. But most of it, a lot of it is inspired by literature. House of Leaves was a big one.
Yeah.
House of Leaves by Mark Z. Dandziejewski. And that is how you pronounce it.
Yeah?
Yes, Mark is my neighbor and my friend, who we wrote one of our records almost, I wouldn't say the record's about House of Leaves, but I think House of Leaves was something that we all read when we were making Crimson.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were making, like, Is This Thing Cursed, both Dan and I reread Stephen King's It. So I don't think that book is referenced even once on the album. But I think that, you know, if you're a writer and you're reading, it's going to sneak in there somehow or another, even in just temperature or feel.
I mean,
Clash. Original lineup of the Clash.
Yeah, that's definitely...
Jawbreaker. Jawbreaker and the Clash are the two big ones.
Okay.
I had my tarot cards read very recently. Seances, I think you're playing with fire, both literally and figuratively. I don't know that that's the smartest thing to do. Like Ouija boards and seances and things like that. I mean, it's called the unknown for a reason because we don't know. So in not knowing, I err on the side of caution and I don't fuck with it.
Yeah, I kind of had a wild reading once. I don't know if it was prophetic or whatever, but I sort of heeded what was said, and it was interesting, you know, and just in terms of like having to take charge of my life, you know, and I suppose that's something you could say to anyone.
Yeah, old man, take a look at your life.
Old man, take a look. I'm not a big Neil Young guy.
No, me neither. I can't stand the man. I mean, his music's great, but I hate him. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like his music either. It makes me want to cry and fucking punch myself. That voice.
Yeah, it was all right though. It was good. It was positive. Radio.
Dialin', because I spit out fire. Radio, radio, radio. That's all the kids want to hear these goddamn days. Just kidding. Radio is definitely the fan song, and I realized something on this tour that maybe I should have realized earlier, is that we have to play that song. If we don't, people will be like, what? When we haven't played it in recent years, like on a one-off or something, kids are like, why the fuck didn't you not? That's why I went.
Well, why don't we just play that first and then go home?
Well, they like the other ones too, Dan.
Oh, just kidding.
Radio.
Mercy Me. Probably up there.
Yeah. And Private Eye, maybe.
Good one.
That was the first song off our, first, I think when people really started paying attention to our band, and by people I mean Alternative Press.
Good one, dude.
Thanks.
No Goddamnit tracks.
It's a lot of records.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Bobby, it's 9
Bobby!
albums. It's a lot of records.
Wake up! There's girls here, come on.
You said 3. Good Lord, Would You Rather makes me crazy.
I'd rather gouge out one of my eyes. I've done it before. It fucking sucks, but at least it's familiar. Chewing off one of my fingers, Oof. Well, it's part of the reason that I wear sunglasses all the time is because I am sensitive to bright lights. Like on stage, I have a base. I mean, I like baseball hats anyway, but when there's a bright light shining in my face, it's just like it gives me a headache. When I was a kid, I didn't gouge my eye did not come out of its socket, but like I was mowing the lawn. I was maybe, I don't know, 11 or 12 years old, like mowing my parents' lawn, and like if there's like a low. There was like low-hanging fruit that I had to like get under, and I went under with the push mower. It was a motorized thing, but you still have to like gas it and push it. And I was pushing it under the tree, and I looked up, and there was this long, skinny, sharp branch, and I looked up, and it just went right into my eyeball. And there's still like you could see like little flecks where it was. And I thought my eye was like stuck on the tree. I ran inside like, I just got my fucking eye on, Mom! Like screaming. I spent the day in the ER. They numbed my whole retina, and my like whole orbital socket was numb, and they pulled out pieces of bark out of my eye.
Oh, Ralphie from The Christmas Story.
Yeah. Yeah, I gouged my eye out, and so. I don't want to find out what chewing my own hand off feels like. The eye gouge sucked, but I think you get over that one a lot faster. And
do I get to keep a nub? How many knuckles?
I don't know. Probably the finger, though. No, not the finger. We need the finger. Yeah, the eye. Still the eye. Trust me, you want an eye. Finger means no more of this. I mean, you could switch hands for a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? But, not playing guitar.
I could deal without this bright pinky. I'm going pinky, but I'm not
It's
I'm
your
not saying
finger.
I could do it. I know. I'm saying this
You don't
because
get
I
to
know
pick that.
no matter what, I couldn't do it anyway. Point is moot.
I mean, you would eat your own hands. People have done it.
I'm delicious.
Like, that movie Alive? It's like, yeah, we eat you first. You look delicious. That people are like eating dead ass in Alive, and you say to yourself, I'd never fucking do that. It's like people did that. You would absolutely do that. If it's death or eat that.
But it's on me. I'll feel the
Dan,
pulse
you're
of my
thinking too
heart.
much about it. Just first answer.
Finger.
Yeah. Okay.
2 knuckles. Well, I've only written one Falcon song. And so that was easy. I don't know. It always kind of just seems apparent. It seems like I'm usually doing one or the other. And I mean, the bands sound pretty different. So I usually just know. It's happened once where once or twice where I've written a song and kind of tossed them around. There was a song on Party Adjacent that I wrote called Haunt Your House that I demoed for a trio stuff, and it just never panned out. I said, shit, I'm still gonna record it. I don't know. How do you do it?
It's been easier more recently because I go to the studio to make a trio record or a blank record.
Right.
Specifically, like when we went in and made our latest record, kind of like I was thinking of it as like we made our first 2 records because of the lack of budget and time. I guess are one and the same thing. We were kind of forced to write on the spot and record really fast. Like with this new record, we did it kind of the same way, but without those constraints. It's just sort of like when it's good. We would work on something until it was good. We'd work on something again and again that had cool parts, but didn't But yeah, in answer to your question, it's like it's been because of both of our schedules and being full-time musicians. Your schedule is such that you know what you're working on because that's what you're going in to do.
I don't know that it was intentional. Matt kind of did that whole thing. It was rad.
Yeah, the dial on the phone and the clocks on Goddamnit, I definitely realized that there were parallels, but that was after the fact. It was not intentional. Cameron Webb, who produced the new trio record, there are a lot of happy accidents, and I think that applies to those early records too. These happy accidents with some experience under our belt it's just a different kind of happy accident.
It's definitely got a feel to me that is reminiscent of those earlier records. When you hear the whole record in its entirety, it's got a good, just kind of like free vibe, and that's due to the nature of us like writing together in a room. I think, like Matt was saying, like we did, and it's really fun.
I'm sure you guys know you have bands in here all the time, and there are people that are like maybe super hungover or just hate doing press or just hate themselves or hate their lives, and it's all like this big tragic ordeal, and it's like, man, like just go work at Home Depot or something. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just like, I like the Jerry Seinfeld look on life as a
Profound.
Yeah, it's just like it's really simple. It's just like you provide a very important service. It's like you make people laugh, or you make people dance and sing and whatever. It's like with risk of like sounding like I'm patting us on the back. I guess I am. These kids last night gave me a picture of this girl Brandy, whom I've met a million times and just sweet as pie, and so are all of her group of friends, and she passed away recently. I didn't know about it until last night, but they brought pictures of me and her, and like her saying, tell Matt I said thank you, like right before she died. These kids told me that last night, and I'm like, that's huge. That's right. Just that alone right there is success. Like, unless you're sick, like with the flu or whatever, some ailment, there's beauty in every day that you get. You get to do what you love, and you get paid to do it. And thanks to people like you guys and our fans, we have no complaints. It wasn't so much that I hated the job, I just hated the part of the job where I was like getting hit by cars. Or, just getting talked to like you're human garbage. Which I was, when I think about it. I was a little garbagey. I don't write about my job anymore. Plain and simple.
You gotta scratch that one off the board.
Yeah, I don't write about bike messengering. I think in writing, it has to be purposeful, and it has to. I just know I work in the studio a lot with bands or artists that aren't me, or aren't a band that I'm in. A lot of it is just like word salad. It's just like rhyming, just like. And I'm guilty of it too, not with Alkaline Trio or with Blink, but in ghostwriting when it's not mine, and honestly I don't really care. I really enjoy doing it, but the final product, if it wins, free money. If it doesn't, it was fun, and usually people are generally pretty nice, especially if you're doing something. It's like writing a song with somebody is almost like showering with them. There's a lot of trust involved. There's always inspiration in the news or in world events or whatever. We have a song on our new record about the current White House administration, those who we do not speak of, where like all of a sudden racism and sexism and xenophobia and homophobia and all these horrible fucking things that were a fire we had contained. It's now, been fuel has been added to the fire, and it's hard for that to not inspire a reaction, at least for me. Family history, world history, things that I read, things that I see, there's always something to write about. World is a fascinating place in very good and very horrible ways.
I'm glad you wrote that song.
Yeah, it's really simple. It's just like...
Yeah. Blackbird was going to be a political song when I had lyrics for it.
It was?
Yeah, but they weren't that good because I don't write politics, but it was definitely going to be, like, you thought Kathy Griffin got in trouble. It was going to be bad. So...
What?
When she posted a picture of herself holding Donald Trump's head and now she can't get a job.
Oh, right.